Okay, Peanut, let's go. Good girl. Up. Yes, good heel. Good job. Good girl. Good job, Peanut. All right, this video is going over leash work and the heel command. So when we say heel, what we are asking Peanut to do is maintain a nice, loose, tension-free leash and have her stay right by our side as she is demonstrating very, very well. So the way we go about initially teaching the actual heel command is first we have to start with the concept of a loose leash. So typically what we'll do is we'll start in a backyard where there are fewer distractions. We don't have the pressure of staying focused when people are walking by or other dogs in the neighborhood are barking or bikers are going by, etc. So we'll start someplace with fewer distractions and we'll just teach her what it feels like to have the tension on the leash and then to get closer to us. So typically I like to start with a long line, so something 10 feet or above, and give her some space. And as soon as the tension is on the leash, recalling her back and rewarding her, letting her have fun when she's within the boundaries of that long line. But then when she gets to the edge and there is some tension, always redirecting her to come back. And then once we've mastered it on a longer leash, we'll transition to a shorter leash. And at the same time that we're doing these loose leash exercises in the backyard without distractions, we try to get the pups actual command work distraction proof. So what that looks like is we're staying still, whether it's in the front yard or a park, and we're just going to focus on basics like sit and settle and look and touch on a long leash or on a regular leash in the front yard, front porch. And specifically, we like to do this at times where like kids are getting out of school, so there's more going on in the neighborhood. When people are out for runs after work, etc. And the whole goal is just to work on her staying locked in and focused on us with those distractions without the added pressure of keeping a loose leash with us. So we're just doing command work and then we're just doing loose leash training work, and we're not combining the two initially. Then what we'll start to do is do some quick turns in the backyard, which will also be our first step. Okay, so what we'll do with the quick turns is we walk a few feet and we'll say, Peanut, good girl. We'll praise when she changes directions with us. And then we'll mark, yes, yes, good girl, when she's naturally by our sides. We're just reminding her what we're looking for. Then we'll do it again. Peanut. Peanut. Good girl. Yes, good job. Good job, Peanut. Yes. Good girl. And we would just repeat that basically over and over again, building engagement. So this I recommend if she's got a lot of energy and you're working on some leash training, building engagement through some quick turns is a huge help. And then again, we're reinforcing the idea that she should stay focused on us and also marking yes for when she's in that heel position. So even if she's in a crazy mood and she's got all this energy, we are reinforcing that this position right next to us gets her that yes, which of course is our marker. That means she did the right job and she's always working towards that yes. So once we have kind of done some good quick turns and she's understanding, we'll do more time in between each, and then we'll actually start going out for a walk like we are now, which of course we have been doing actual walks for quite some time with Peanut since she was in a longer program. But I still like to go over that initial stuff because in the first week back home, I do recommend taking a few steps back and building up with her just so she understands everything from training still applies at home, and we're just setting her up for the most success. You'll be able to fly through all the steps so much faster than we did, of course, when she was first learning, but it's just reinforcing it and setting her up for success. So once we're out for a walk, if she gets distracted and she starts to pull, what we'll do is we'll just come to a complete stop. We'll get her full attention. Peanut, sit. Peanut, sit. Hey. Make sure she's focused. Peanut, touch. Yes, good girl. Sit. Yes, good sit. Peanut. Peanut, look. Look, Peanut. Come on, baby. Look. Yeah, come on. Look. Yes, good look. There we go. Good job. And then we'll continue on. Okay. So we'll wait till she has our full attention. There is some construction happening up the street, which she's distracted by. So that was a very good, natural, true, real example of, okay, we sat and now she's distracted. So it took a little bit to get her attention. I also think she'll do a bit better once the fur is out of her face, but she looks so well groomed that I don't want to mess with it. Sometimes we'll trim a little bit around the eyes. Oh, very windy. Sometimes we'll trim a little bit around their eyes, but I don't want to mess up her nice groom, so I figure you'll get her into the groomer soon, and that will help. But just like that, if she's distracted, we'll do what we need to do to redirect her, get her attention, being patient, to reinforce, okay, we got it, and then we'll continue on. So that is what we'll do if she's distracted by like a squirrel or construction or a new person walking by. The only caveat to this, Peanut, good girl, yes, good job. The only caveat to this is if we're passing another dog, I do not want you to pause. Rather than just sitting and pausing and getting her full attention and focus, we want you to keep it moving. The reason we pause in other circumstances is to work on distraction work and make sure that we can work through anything to get her full attention. And it also teaches her that like, oh, when I pull, I don't get to go anywhere. And this is no fun. I'm just sitting there and re-engaging. So that is why we do it. But when it comes to other dogs, we really want to make sure we're not building up tension and increasing the risk of leash reactivity. So if you pass another dog, what I want you to do is lure. So you're going to take a treat and lure her and say, leave it. And as soon as she turns her attention away from the other dog and back onto you, you'll mark, yes, good, leave it, and you'll release the treat. The other reason I recommend doing this is I have seen it just driving in the neighborhood many, many times, but trainers recommend stopping when their pup is pulling or when they pass another dog. And now we are really battling some full phone storage. I've deleted so much stuff. So after this video, I'll sit down and try to reorganize some phone stuff. But for whatever reason, once it like goes full, even if I delete stuff, it just doesn't want to cooperate. But as I was saying, I have seen it before where two dogs are going in the opposite direction. Both trainers said the same thing. So both people sit with their dogs and no one knows who should move forward, and it just gets awkward. And while it's awkward for the people, it's building a lot of tension for the dogs. It's a really unnatural way for them to interact and meet. So we don't want to risk that. So you can be the one, just keep it moving, tell her leave it, and reward. If it's a dog you know really well, say it's a neighbor that she has play dates with or something, you can say hi to that dog, but we do not want her to expect that she gets to say hi to people or dogs when we're out for a walk. That's super, super important. We really want to work on neutrality, especially for Peanut, because she is just a dog that is more prone to getting really excited and hyped up and sometimes can manifest as some anxious energy when she really, really wants to get attention or wants to meet somebody. So it's super important that we teach her that not every single person that we pass is going to be someone we get to talk to and meet. So really be diligent about leave it and making sure that she's neutral in those scenarios. All right, let's talk briefly about equipment here. So she's in an Easy Walk harness. I'm going to give you this harness to take home and use, and I'll give you the carabiner. But what it does is it has this extra loop of fabric and it actually tightens when they pull. Not corrective in any way, it's still loose, but it just kind of pulls her into you, so it's a good teaching tool. And then we have it backed up to a martingale collar, which I highly, highly recommend. In case you ever have to just put her on a collar and take her outside for a quick potty break or something, much, much safer than a flat collar. A flat collar has to be quite tight in order for it to be super secure and it not risk slipping out over their head. So the martingale's nice, it can stay nice and loose on them, but if you attach a leash and they start to pull, they can't back out of it if it's fitted properly. But I also like using a harness because we can always back it up, which is what that carabiner is on there for. It's backing up the harness and the collar, so if she were to ever slip out of the harness, if the harness failed, very unlikely, but you know, just in case, it would be connected to the collar. So, and the collar is a martingale, so she wouldn't be able to slip out. So that's what that's there for. Highly recommend always backing things up. So as I was saying, just important to back it up, and we want to treat every single walk as a training session. That's super important. The goal is not to see how far we can go, but rather how productive the walk can be. We want to be giving her mental exercise along with the physical, and I promise she'll wear out faster. So even if she has a walk where she's doing really well, like right now she's doing great, where she's not pulling ahead, still mix in some random commands. Practice sit, practice touch, practice look. I also recommend doing your very, very best to stay off your phone. I know it's not always practical. Sometimes it's a good opportunity to catch up on phone calls or whatever the case may be while you're out walking her. But dogs know when you're not fully focused. That's why sometimes the videos are a little hard. She knows we're filming, right? She knows I'm not fully engaged with her. I'm doing something else. But super important to lock in and focus on her. She will do better, and just let it be your special time with Peanut when you're out for a walk to work with her, not only on leash training, but other command work too, and just building engagement and strengthening the relationship. So that is leash training. Please let me know if you have any questions.